I've been thinking a lot about the Alberta Prosperity Project and separation and Danny. And I know there are a lot of Albertans, not as many as they would have us believe, but a lot of Albertans that are angry. We want to separate. Enter the Alberta Prosperity Project with promises and a premier who makes it easier for separatists to potentially put forward a question for referendum. I mean, not in this case because Thomas got ahead of it, but she made the process easier for a citizens' initiative. And I wanted to look to see what the Alberta Prosperity Project is really all about. Spoiler alert, magic beans. So I took a look at this first. Their roadmap to sovereignty. Things like an Alberta pension plan. An Alberta police force. Now we know Danny wanted an Alberta pension plan. It's not turning out the way she'd hoped. And she just pushed forward an Alberta police force, even though it wasn't asked for. They sure didn't campaign on it. And she loves to use her tagline, a sovereign Alberta within a united Canada, which is an oxymoron. Heavy on the moron part. But what does the Alberta Prosperity Project want? Aside from your money, they want Albertans codified by a new Constitution of Alberta that recognizes the supremacy of God as foundations to civil society and the rule of law. It's ironic that they talk about civility and the rule of law when one of their own, Blackhack guy, is going to be subject to hearing with the Law Society in 2026 for allegedly threatening criminal charges, including for murder, in an attempt to gain a benefit for a client, and also communicated in a manner that was disrespectful and discourteous, amongst other things. Now that's all alleged. We'll let the Law Society figure that out. Now understand that this is their vision, their dream board, their cross our finger and let's hope it happens. Because they talk about things like securing pension and old age benefits and veterans benefits. They don't know if they can do that. That's the vision. They also have a mission. Impossible. They want to see us transition from provincial status to sovereign nation status. They talk about citizenship, pensions, passports, along with things like trade, yada yada. And it looks all fancy because they have a website, but a lot of it seems to be hopes and dreams, wishes, desires. Because the question, not their question, they didn't do the paperwork in time. But the question is, could this happen? Fuck the treaties, right? Even though Black Hat Guy prides himself on bringing in Indigenous folk. So don't worry about separation. We'll take care of ya. It seems the Black Hat Guy's made a lot of money on the backs of Indigenous people. According to this, 11 million with one group, 28 million with another. He also stands to lose a lot of that because he failed to comply with the mandatory rule to make the fee agreements enforceable. Now that's a shit ton of money, and I get it. Charge your worth, right? But are you gonna put all your eggs in the basket of a lawyer that doesn't know how to make an agreement enforceable? Allegedly, even though it was founded. But I digress. They're making a lot of promises. We can be our own nation and still get all the benefits of being Canadian. Nuh-uh, that's not how it works. But surely they have all the answers on their frequently asked questions on their website. Will Alberta have its own passport? Toggle content. And I thought, okay, let's look at something different. Let's look at what would happen to citizenship. What would happen to my Canadian citizenship? Oh, there it is. Toggle content. Again, magic beans. Do they know? Surely they must know. If they're asking for money and they want your support, surely they have answers to all these questions. I don't think they do. I think they're hoping that people are going to use their anger and just follow what they say. Consequences be damned. We'll figure that out after. Because if they want us to be a sovereign nation, that means no longer Canadian. You don't get to just keep all the benefits of Canada if you've told Canada to fuck off. Canada's nice. Not that nice. Do they think we'll have dual citizenship? I don't think so. You don't apply for dual citizenship. You just become a citizen of another country. But the rules are that the country already exists. Alberta as a country does not exist. Although maybe we could go to our embassy, the Embassy of Alberta, and get more info. And if we're no longer Canadian and you want to apply to be Canadian, there's a test. Can you imagine? These pine nuts don't even know how government works. How the hell are they going to pass a test? The other things to consider is that things like passports, citizenship, federal benefits, that belongs to Canada. Canada gets to decide all that. The ministers under the federal government get to decide who gets a passport, who becomes a citizen. You're asking us to no longer be citizens. You want to be a sovereign nation. country of Alberta. So like all that stuff goes poof. Bye-bye. Country of Alberta flag. And this is where people who are angry, considering siding with these people, need to do your homework. You need to understand that they can talk a good talk, as most grifters do. They can ask you for your money. They're not actually registered as anything. So like the money, there's no accountability there. They talk about how your privacy is going to be kept because they don't release names, but they also have no accountability of what they're doing with your money. Don't give them your money and keep your hard-earned money. But this brings me to Danny, because Danny has said multiple times that she doesn't believe in separation. She wants to remain in Canada. She's hopeful, while simultaneously creating processes that will allow separatists to make it easier for them to bring forward a question about separation. And let me tell you, the Citizens Initiative is a bullshit process. It's a government cop-out that allows them not to bring forward things that could be contentious, like this, to keep their hands clean. Wasn't us. It was the citizens. She's already said that. I'm not bringing it forward. Other people are bringing it forward, while simultaneously making it easier for people to bring it forward. She's just sitting back working on a sovereign Alberta within a united Canada, which doesn't make fucking sense. Now, if Danny truly didn't believe in separation, she would have answered this question a little differently.
Will you be signing or endorsing Thomas Lukaszik's petition for Alberta to declare its official policy to remain in Canada, and why or why not?
I'm going to let the various processes play out. I understand that the Chief Electoral Officer affirmed the question that had been put forward by Mr. Lukaszik, and so we'll see if he's able to get the requisite number of signatures. I gather he submitted it under the old rules, so I think he needs 293,000 signatures, so I'll wait and see if he's able to accomplish that.
Oh, don't you worry, it'll get accomplished. I mean, it wasn't a no, but it sure as fuck wasn't a yes. Danny's busy dodging and weaving. If she truly didn't believe in separation and thought the separatists were wackadoos, she could have answered that question in a million other ways. The bottom line is that a lot of the stuff this Alberta Prosperity Project is promising is just a vision. It is not factual, even if Alberta could separate. And even when they bring up Quebec. Because even when Quebec was looking at separation, there is nothing that tells you are guaranteed certain things from the federal government once you are no longer Canadian. And they don't put any of that in writing, because A, they don't want it to happen, but B, it would be on a case by case. So you can wish and hope and dream, capitalize on the misdirected anger of people, have a premier that doesn't believe in separation but threatens the federal government that there's high separation anxiety in Alberta right now. So you better do what I say. Do you see? They're all together. It's just a big charlatan soup. And if they don't have the answers now, they're not going to have the answers later. If you're a part of a family and you no longer want to be part of that family, you want to pack up all your shit and go, why the fuck would you think that the family's going to help you later on? We've already pissed off all of our siblings. You think our parents are going to give us shit? Get the fuck out. You wanted to live independently. Make it on your own. Can you imagine an Alberta embassy? Just truck nuts behind the gate with used fuck Trudeau flags. Certainly would be a sight to behold.